Good morning, Mr. Chair, board members, and Superintendent. Michael Rajner. I'm Jennifer School Board Member Gottlieb's appointee to the board's Diversity Committee. And first, School Board Member Gottlieb, I want to thank you for continuing to reappoint me every year, to be able to bring these issues to you and to the board to make certain that Broward County Public Schools is a system that will advocate for the best for every child, as you always have. And I know, Superintendent Notter, that that is your commitment to make certain that every student is given an equal and fair opportunity for a greater future. Listening to the story, you can never get between the love of a mother and a child. And I think she should be commended for the courage to stand here. There's not many parents, though, that can come out of those shadows and be here today. And there's several that they're hiding. They're hiding in the shadows because of what the stigma that's associated with this issue, the discrimination, and how society has shunned not only the individual who is struggling with gender identity disorder, but also the family who's struggling to support that child. You also have those families that reject the child and throw the child out onto the streets. And a large number of them end up dead at a time much earlier than they should, whether it's through drug overdose or violence or murder. But basically, at the hands, society has blood on their hands for not reaching out and protecting them. You know, we struggle on the national and state level not having adequate protections in place for all Americans. You know, in their Pledge of Allegiance, we talk about how everybody is, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and how we're all equal. But that's not necessarily the case. And this board has had a strong commitment through its anti-bully policy to include sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression, redefined the Policy 1.5 of the Diversity Committee to ensure that educational equity also includes gender identity in it, as well as the definition of diversity. And this was the last step, was getting the school board's non-discrimination policy amended. But it doesn't just address transgender issues. Also, School Board Member Gottlieb should be commended for ramping up also on the sexual harassment portions of this policy. And I know that you also have an agenda item later today of a faculty member in relation to sexting, I believe is on the board's agenda. But it's an issue that is pervasive and an issue that we also need to address. But we need to really make certain that we have the partnership with the Broward Teachers Union, with the PBA, and other unions also to make certain that their members and employees of this school board are also partners in the solution to make certain that we rout out discrimination throughout this district and be engaged in dialogue to ensure that implementation of this policy is not only understood, but also embraced. And again, I want to thank the board for all your amazing work. School Board Member Gottlieb, you've attended several events, and I believe Robin Bartleman as well, of the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is held every November, where we sit in a chapel at Sunshine Cathedral in Fort Lauderdale, and you hear the horrors of transgendered individuals who are murdered on the streets. And often they are forced into survival sex and a life of prostitution and crime because they haven't had that equal chance in an education, and they haven't had that equal opportunity in the workforce to be able to put a house over their head, to be able to put food on the table, or have access to health care. And this board is sending a great statement to change that culture here in Broward County so that in future generations will understand and embrace really what it's about. So I want to thank you again for your continued support of these issues.
Thank you.